Here we go. Good morning, everyone. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name, Kanipo Makwat, Standing Bear, Soda, Tri Fishing Lake First Nation, Saskatchewan, Canada, Treaty 4 Territory, and Anishinaabe, 60 Scoop Survivor, former United States Swimming National Team member, and welcome to We Are the Medicine Circle, which really implies that we are the Medicine Circle. We yeah, kind of says that I'm not in charge. I don't want to be in charge. I'm just sitting here. I'm in the service of the Great Spirit, and I'm in the service of the circle. And there's really no other place that I'd rather be. Start my day, start my morning with sitting with you all, just sitting in circle, just laughing it up, laughing it up, having a good time, just yeah, and talking about some really cool things, right? And really that's what we do. We learn how to live life in a really good and beautiful way. And I struggled with that for a long time to kind of figure that out. So and one of the most important things that we start out with, if not the most important thing, if no one said that they love you today, I love you very much, which simply means that I want you to live your very best life. That's simply that. Connected to all those things that bring you a good life, beginning with air, water, fire, earth, and all those things. All those beautiful things. Yeah, that's um, okay, a couple of housekeeping issues before we start. We are coming off two platforms, so if you see me looking back and forth, that's what I'm doing. I'm looking at the camera. It looks like this, right? I'm looking back and forth, so that's what that is. We are on YouTube, Facebookers. We are on YouTube, Standing Bear, the author. That seems to be a little less glitchy over there. In fact, I'm not sure if we had any glitches over there. Really, coming off the same router, but there's always Facebook, man, just something going on there. I am on Facebook restrictions a little bit. They keep reminding me that I'm not quite sure what I did. That's all about. But anyway, if you want, so just go over there. Please like and subscribe, and then you get those notifications. When we go live. Okay, there's a tag list, and this is for the benefit of the Facebookers. There's a rotating tag list, so if I don't tag you every day, that's why. It appears to be one of those things that got me in trouble. So it gives you a certain amount of people that you can tag, and then it doesn't like when you use a certain amount. So I can't figure it out. So I'm kind of trying to keep that number down a little bit. But I haven't forgotten about you. So I love you. Also, over on YouTube, because I am going on traveling here on Monday. Um, there is a library of information going. Every live we've done for a long time is over there on YouTube. So if this is part of your morning routine, so just go over there, just pick a day and just hit it. That's what to do. So yeah, that's it. And we are going over Whispers from the Hollow Bone. This is your suggestion, so thank you for that. Whispers from the Hollow Bone, September 21st. So if you can kind of get warmed up, I know it was kind of, that's your suggestion because we kind of did it. We were doing it kind of the last minute. Also, there's another young lady that wants to remind everybody to write down their takeaways because she feels like it's really, really important. So that is really important, to just kind of like think about that. Okay, so let's begin. Let us begin here. Oh my God. Okay, so let's begin here. There we go. Okay. So let us begin with a little smudge here. Again, they're still finding bodies of the residential school children. They have yet to reach the halfway mark. Where over 20,000 children that have been so what's happening now is there was a person on here that just didn't know what was going on, so for their benefit we'll catch everybody up. So the residential schools, they murdered the children that were there. They buried them in mass graves, and now we're finding them all over the country of Canada. So there's a grandmother, a place of great mourning and grief. So there's a grandmother that suggested a long time ago, man, long time ago, and suggested that that part of the smudge, part of our opening prayers and smudge, goes toward remembrance and honoring those residential school children never made it home. Absolutely. I spoke to her a couple of weeks ago. She touches base every day. She pops on here from time to time. She would refer to remain, anonymous, and respect that totally. So also, I just had, hey, would you mind if we can add the family members too, because we have family members who are still mourning and grieving. I love you. So let's keep them in our prayers. And part of that medicine, part of that teaching, it is the smoke that connects us all. So let us remember that in a good and beautiful way. Keep those children in our hearts, and make sure they finally get a chance to go home. So I love you. So okay. There we go. Okay, so let us. If it doesn't begin with prayer, then it doesn't begin. If it doesn't begin with offering, then it doesn't begin. And if it doesn't begin with spirit, then it doesn't begin. So let's begin in a good and beautiful way. If you would like to, there was a comment yesterday. If you would like to if you would like to join us with offering, that would be good. That would be good. So let's. Little help from above, little help from below, and then to all my relations, Kitty Manitou, Chief Megwitch, Creator, Great Spirit, Great Mystery, Chief Megwitch for our breath, Chief Megwitch for our circle, Chief Megwitch for our day, Chief Megwitch for our life. We are grateful for our last breath, and we are hopeful for our next, and we live in that beautiful place in between. We come here today. We mean no harm in what we do. We come here in a good way, a sacred way. humble way. We may come here for a lot of reasons, and that is good. But the first reason why we stay here is life. Life is most important. Without life, we have nothing. We have nothing. So we come here and we celebrate all life as if it was our own, because it is. We don't come here for selfish reasons. We may come here for selfish reasons, but we stay here for selfless reasons. We come here and we celebrate all nations, tribes, and circles. Especially the ones that don't look like the two-legged. Like the standing nation, the ones that offer the world breath, we say thank you. To the swimming nations and the fish nations, the ones who teach us how to live in harmony and balance with the water, we say thank you. To the wind nations, the ones who teach us how to live in harmony and balance with the wind and air, we say thank you. To the creepy crawlers and the slitters, the ones who teach us how to stay close and grounded to Mother Earth, we say thank you. To the four-legged nation, circles, and tribes, we understand how much you offer and teach us. To and for our humanity, we say thank you. And of course to all other two-legged nation, circles, and tribes, where we understand that you are our teachers as well. And this makes our ears and our hearts very happy. We come here and we celebrate those spirits that bring us a good life. Air, water, fire, earth. We celebrate the ones who have come before us, our ancestors. And remember, if they are our relatives here, which all life is, they are our ancestors over there. So we come from a million points of light and love. That's the only place that we come from. They walk in accordance with spiritual law, and that is their prayer that they offer to us. And that is a good thing. Teaching us how to live a good life. And that is a beautiful thing. We don't come from any place else. We come from a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place. We understand and acknowledge as well that some of our two-legged ancestors were hurt, wounded, abused, and traumatized, and they passed those hurts and wounds along to us. We understand this. We acknowledge the pain and the suffering and the grieving. We also understand this is a time and place of healing, for healing. And we understand and acknowledge during this process it's okay not to be okay. And at some point along our healing process, we begin to realize that what they offered was never for us to carry, never for us to own. Only ours to heal from. And we don't do it, and we don't heal for selfish reasons. We do it for selfless reasons. For the next seven generations, for we only borrow this earth from our children, and our children are only loaned to us. So we are the intersection between two beautiful and powerful unseen worlds. What a great privilege and opportunity. What a great responsibility we have to break the cycles, to break the chains. What a powerful day it is. What a powerful circle. Thank you to all those helpers and guides. You don't have to be alone anymore. We know that there's a safe place, and a safe place here between these two unseen worlds. And just because we don't see them does not mean that they don't hear or see everything that we do, because they do. the way we walk, everything we say and do is an offering to the next 7 generations. That's our offering. So we begin to heal, and then we walk in a good and beautiful way, and that becomes our offering. And the ancestors were wise. They gave us a trail to follow, a beautiful trail, but one we can only see with beautiful intent. That means we want to heal. That's what that means. Prayerfully, mindfully. Come to circle and say, yes, let's heal, and let's heal together. Let's do this thing. And then we will see the road in front of us. It is called the Red Road, the road of wellness, the road of unity, the road of all nations, circles, and tribes. All roads are welcome here, the black road, the yellow road, the white road, and the red road. We all meet in this beautiful place called the Sacred Center. That is where we all meet. That is where the healing comes. But if we never come together, then how can there possibly be healing? And we as the Red Nation, we understand we do not own this road. We are caretakers and stewards of this road for the people. We are honored to do so. And there are teachings along this road that, if lived, will give us a foundation to this place, the Sacred Center, to live a beautiful life, to break those chains and their cycles that hurt us and separate us, seeing beyond the illusions. Beyond the illusions. Humility, truth, love, honesty, respect, wisdom, courage. And the more we sit with these, the more we understand that we are already them. We are already beautiful people. That we are already sacred. And then we will remember as we do that, as we remember that is who we are, then we remember where we're from. And we're from the first prayer at the center of the universe, harmony and balance. And we begin to walk that way and treat each other accordingly, conduct ourselves in a gentle manner. Then we become the peacemakers. That is a good thing. All right. Okay, well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Wherever you are, we are actually, we have people in Australia, Philippines, we have people all over Europe, and so that's why I say that. So it's different time schedules, so it's not just here in Canada and the lower 48. And again, if no one said that, they love you today. I love you very much, and again, it's an honor and a privilege for me to be here. To be here as often as I can. And yes, I did. There was a couple of questions that came in, I think last night. I found them this morning. And yes, so thank you for your prayers. Yes, whatever that thing that was in me a couple weeks ago, they just wanted to check in. They haven't heard anything. So yes, thank you for your prayers. We are going to have a biopsy on that thing, but it doesn't seem as sinister as it might have been. So thank you for your prayers of light and love. Just from and you know what, we're just going to take our time this morning because it's Saturday, and I love you guys. So yeah, one of those things, whenever it was cysts, lumps that shouldn't be there, right? And can't help but go to that dark place to see if there's anything more sinister, right? And of course, I went there, right? Of course, I went to WebMD, and it was like the worst thing. Don't ever Google anything. Don't ever just be like, just let the medical professionals do what they do. Don't Google it. So anyway, I went there, and I thought I literally thought I'd be dead by Tuesday, right? That's what So and not laughing now, not so funny back then. Place of hurt and grieving, right? And one of those things that I would miss would be sitting in a circle with you, you know, sitting in the circle out there by the fire, and sitting in this circle right here, right? And it has to be acknowledged. It's part of my truth. It's just like so it makes ever since that day. This that much more powerful for me, just in that place of gratitude, right? That thing's still in me, but we're going to do a biopsy when I get back from Europe. And yeah, so everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. Um, my friends really rallied around me. You all sent me good and beautiful prayers, and that is just awesome. So that's a place of acknowledgement. So thank you for that. Okay, onward and upward. Hollow bones. Couple of things, if you're new here, that we go over. It's kind of like a preamble thing, really for the benefit of those who are newer to the circle. We have this thing called the hollow bones. It's not really a concept. It's really a way of walk. It's really a connection with all those things, those beautiful things that give us a good and beautiful life, right? So air, water, fire, earth, humility, love, truth, honest, respect, wisdom, all these things, both seen and unseen. Unseen give us a really good and beautiful life. So connecting to that, again, that's part one. Part of the reason why we are out of balance, right? That chaos, calamity, crisis that colonial world offers is, and it really does offer that, right? It's not a mistake what they're doing, right? The constant wars, the constant, whatever they're creating that separation. Whenever you create separation, it creates chaos, right? That's the deal. So that's what that creates, and um, so we come over to these spiritual realms, these spiritual circles. We connect to understand that we are part of each other. And that you can write down. I know where my pen is, this one here. Write that down, that we are forever part of each other. We are intertwined and overlapping, right? So part one is to connect to those things, those spirits, those powers, both seen and unseen, to bring us a good life. So let's celebrate those things that give us a good life. Air, water, fire, earth, right? Right? The physical things. The unseen would be, and how we do that. And this you can write down, humility, love, truth, starting out, humility. Grandfather Tony, my elder, been with him for 30 years now. He would always talk to me about this place of humility, and I could never understand why. I'm like, for 5 or 6, 7 years, that's all he talked about. And then, so that's that beautiful teaching, because you can't have love or truth without humility. That's what he taught me, right? Right. So then we connect to those things: air, water, fire, earth, with humility. And then the second part of that, this is really important. This is where we misstep a lot. Is we take it for selfish reasons. So it's just us, right? So so we want to give back what was so freely offered, given to us by Spirit. So we give prayers, we give life. That means we pray with the water, we pray with the fire, we pray with the ancestors, we pray with humility, right? That's the way we offer that back. And so okay. All right, and like another thing, there was a comment too a couple days ago. I'm not sure if I got around to it. It was like, just allow this definition to be fluid. It's really important. Like there's no set definition. As we grow, so will our understanding and connection to that. So again, a place of great gentleness. Ancestors and elders. So again, thank you. Let's thank those elders. If you are indigenous, let's thank those elders who brought us here. Let's thank the ancestors if you're who helped you get here, find your, like, it's no accident that you're here, right? It's no accident. It's just like no accident. So whether you think you stumble or not, I don't think it's an accident, right? I'm just saying, right? So, so thank you to Tony once again. Tony Stonehock, been with him for 30 years. It's mind-boggling. It's just like, yeah, I was just a little kid when I got here. Right now, I'm like 50-something years old. Man. It's unbelievable. And thank you to all those other men and women who carry medicine in a really good and beautiful way. And that's all over the country. So just share, just share that gratitude, right? So if you have an elder, just share, just hold your heart, just say thank you, right? Thank you, because the elders, they're all related too, right? The ancestors, they're all related. They're all sitting in one circle, and wherever they are, the next world, right? They're all sitting together. Yeah, man. That's a beautiful thing. So okay, here we go. It's one of my favorite parts. No, no. So okay, so circle medicine. So no one's in front of us, no one's behind us, no one's above us, no one is below us, and this is what we look like right here. Actually, this was an offering. I got this one this weekend. Yeah. It smells like home. The hair of Mother Earth. If you don't know, I think it was a question yesterday. Yes, this is one of the 4 sacred herbs. So tobacco, cedar, sage, and sweetgrass, the hair of Mother Earth. So, again, one of the foundations of this circle, sacred feminine, right? Kind of different, story than coming over from the colonial world, where it's really out of balance, right? It's patriarchy kind of thing, right? There's Abrahamic religions. It's just a patriarchy thing, right? And that's not a good or bad thing. We just say no thank you, and then we step out of that one and into this one, right? And then we celebrate all those things that give us life, including this, and this represents prayers, both seen and unseen, physical and spiritual. This represents us, which basically says we are intertwined and overlapping, right? And so we're going to talk about a little bit more about this today. Just so, and this was a question from you guys. No, this is not the way it grows. This is not the way it grows. So I love you guys. I love your question. No problem. We'll go over it as many times as you want. This is not the way it grows. These are weaved together. Yes. So so we're going to talk more about that in the reading today. So remember, Whispers from the Hollow Bow, September 21st. Okay, Sacred Feminine. Okay, again, right. So we are so the reason, so this is the question of the day. So why do you go over to Sacred Feminine? Because we are transitioning back into that place of wellness, right? Where we understand we're not dismissing the sacred masculine, we are including the sacred as we sit over here. That's why we do that, right? That's a great question too. So let's not be in that place of who's right, who's better. That's not what this is about. This is about understanding, finding unity, and really understanding and bringing back that the feminine is sacred, right? And it is sacred because it had that beautiful womb space, the life givers. That's where it begins and that's where it ends, right? Okay, so in case some of you don't know, that conversation led into a couple young ladies, a couple mothers actually got a hold of me and said, look, my daughter is my whatever that is, daughters, aunties, they're in active addiction. What makes them so sacred now, right? And again, that's that place of hurt, right? That's it. That's that time of, this is a time of great gentleness, right? And understanding that you are sacred no matter what is a beautiful place of gentleness, and just hold on to that, right? You know, you know, you know, just hold on, just hold that, just hold that thought for a second. In fact, you can hold that medicine too. In fact, there was another comment the other day. Apparently I said it the other day, just like holding on to the medicine, right? Just physically holding on helps understand the fact that it's really necessary, right? So holding on to something that is so powerful and so sacred, yet so simple, right? You know, we don't want to dismiss that, right? So that's why we have, as indigenous people, that's why we have the medicine, not to look cool, you know, like I don't wear this to look cool. I remind me to walk with, walk with courage, right? Always, walking through that darkness, through that misunderstanding, to find that place of gentleness. That's why I wear this, right? To find that place of gentleness within myself, because that starts with me, right? The same thing with sacred feminine. Sometimes, it's just that beautiful, beautiful place, a wonderful, gentle time of patience and gentleness, right? And so we're struggling because we don't have a full understanding walking with the sacred feminine. And sometimes it's the females that really struggle with that, right? And remember, you know, um, it's like a mixed circle, a mixed community circle like this is fine, but we also need, the women with the women, the women with the grandmothers. That's so important. We can't, young ladies cannot replace that with, just can't do it. It doesn't work. And I've seen it misstep too many times, right? It just happens, right? So that can happen, but the sisters, the daughters hang out with the grandmothers, right? But this is fine right here when we have gatherings like this weekend. That's fine, but can't do without the grandmothers. Even there's grandfathers that I talked to, like Grandfather Tony. I talked to him like 17 times last week because I was like, I'm gonna die, right? But I just spoke to him and I spoke my heart, right? You know, right, right. Spoke my heart, and it's just that different. It's a different conversation, right? That beautiful place of healing. It's just a different conversation, right? And don't dismiss that different conversation as being just like that. No, because you feel comfortable with the opposite sex, right? Again, finding that place of harmony and balance. We have to live that to understand that. So, I love you guys, and please keep your questions concerning that. Sorry, hairball. Please keep your questions, concerns, and comments coming. I do not guarantee that I will get around to all the mess like the lawyer in me, because somebody get offended if I don't do it right away. So anyway, that's why I do that. Okay, so let's just get down to it and do it. So we go over a couple books. You can go get these yourself. Here are the Daily Medicine books written by me, both offerings from the Great Spirit, my elders, Tony Stonehawk. What we will do here is, we're just gonna. I'm not looking too bad for time here. So what we're gonna do here, play some gentleness, right? We're gonna read it a couple of times. Develop a general impression. It's so important that we do that because, and this is not about right or wrong, good or bad. This is just understanding with great humility. Someone said that here. I love the way you do that because it brings us to a place of humility, right? Because I've been here for 30 years doesn't mean I know anymore. I've just been doing it longer, right? You know. So if you've been here for 30 years, 50 years, been sober for 40 years, doesn't make you any different, doesn't make you any better than the person that's been sitting here for 3 days or has 3 days of sobriety. Does not. Because circle medicine, we are all equal. So I don't know why I'm whispering, but that's what that is. So anyway, I love you guys, so let's get down to it and do it. Whispers from the Hollow Bone. Oh, and if we could get, thank you, Maureen. Yes, and if we could get the person to put that in the feed too, and also there's a note here. If everybody, I guess if you kind of introduce yourself too, there's a woman here that would just kind of suggest. Okay, so introduce yourself if you would like to do that. We used to do that all the time. That's why she said that. So if you want to introduce yourself, that would be fine. Whispers from Hollow Bone, September 21st. We cannot find the truth until it is the only thing that we seek. Let's read that again. Again, great gentleness here, great compassion. Right? We cannot find the truth until it is the only thing that we seek. What does that mean to you? Wow. let's speak with the language of great gentleness, right? Right. We speak a lot of languages. Gentleness, it is not one, especially if you come from any kind of trauma or abuse, one that we know well. So let's kind of switch that narrative, right? Switch that narrative. What what would a gentle initial perspective be? General impression. Right. For me, absolute beauty, strength, like a reminder for me, right? Wow, this is beautiful. Wow, we are on the right track. Okay, you know, there's a road for us to follow, and it says it right here, right? This is a way. This is a way on the red road, right? This is it, the road of wellness. This is not the road of who decides who is. This is not testing your moral. You know, this is, hey, look, let's get healthy, and the implied, there's an implied choice here that we want to come here and we want to be healthy, right? And yeah, it says healthy, right? We're not bad people becoming good. That's the colonial narrative, right? Because we drank yesterday or shot dope, you know, no. Because you're thinking about that. No. We come here, and as we connect to these beautiful things, right? It's that beautiful place of connectedness, right? Right? I love you. Let's be gentle here, right? So, first word. So once there's an applied choice here, right? So let's heal together. That's why we're here, right? So the applied choice is let's heal together, let's love together, let's find that circle, let's find that place, let's heal together, blah blah blah. So the implied choice is, and now it makes it spells it out. It spells that implied choice. Write that down. We may come here for I, but we stay for we. Right. That's my story. I came here because I couldn't get 1 day sober. Couldn't do it. But I stayed here, and I'm here 30 years later because of you. Because of every single one of you. Because of Fran, because of Susan, because of David, because of Marlo, because of Sybil. And I come here, I stay here for you. Because, like I said last week, I would miss you if I wasn't here. If I was crossed over the other world, I would miss you. Right? So let's make today as beautiful, as powerful as we can. Right? That's the beauty. But we can't do it alone, right? So the implied choice is us. Again, English is a really bad language. It's manipulative, it's controlling, it's fear-based. But like a broken clock, it's right twice a day. So what does grandfather always say? With beautiful power, grace, and gentleness, we take what is right. We take what works. That's it. So we say thank you. Take we, us, and ours. Thank you, Creator, the Great Spirit. Thank you to the Sacred Hoop and the ancestors for bringing us the we. And they're all included in the we anyway. Once we really understand it, and we have to understand the we before we really move on, right? So it's not just we. So there's 30, 34, 5, 6 people in the circle. It's not just that. Like the opening prayers, the we, the water, the fire, the earth, the air, the water, fire, earth. That's part of that we, right? Because that's why we start off with that prayer. There was a person the other day saying, well, we're really running short for time. You just take out the prayer. I said the prayer is the only reason why we're here. We can't do it, right? I would rather just say the prayer and just be done with it, right? But the beautiful thing is we set that prayer because we set that beautiful intention, and that beautiful intention is what? We. I love you. Right? And if you weren't here, it'd be really difficult to say, I love you. But now that you're here, now that we freely and openly say that, right? I want nothing from you, but everything for you. And I can't have that without you here, right? Right? Beautiful and powerful, right? Okay. Here it is. Here's where it starts to get interesting. Powerful. This is not good or bad. This is just, it gets more powerful. And so as we move forward, powerful. A little bit in your face too. Not abrasive, but gentle in your face, like a velvet hammer type thing, right? Cannot. Okay, we cannot. Very clear. Very clear. We cannot. What do they mean by that? It means unattainable. Right. And we start off in spiritual realms, and that's where we say this is nothing but the Spirit speaking to us, the Spirit speaking to our hearts. That's it, right? And after that, once we understand that, once it goes in here, once it goes here, hey, the takeaway. Thank you for that. So once we start understanding that that's our takeaway, then we can start, okay, then we can start taking that to other places. But if it doesn't go here, if the we doesn't go here, then it's hard for us to stay here, right? Again, kind of backtracking a little bit, but let's go there. Okay, we cannot, okay, find, okay, very, very clear, right? Discover. Attain and discover. They mirror each other, right? Cannot find, attain, and discover. That's very, very clear. They're spelling out in no uncertain terms. Boom. That's where it is. That's where, okay, right? The truth. Okay. Here we go. The truth, right? Truth, write this down. One of the 7 sacred. The turtle represents the truth, brings us closer to what? Mother Earth, that slow, methodical grounding, right? Not like, not as overwhelming rush like a wave, but slow, methodical bits and pieces. That's how it comes, right? Right? Getting a little ahead of myself, but that's it. One of the 7 sacred laws, right? One of the 7 sacred grandfather and grandmother teachings, right? So beginning with humility, love, honesty, wisdom, respect, courage, truth. So let's remember what the truth is, and this is kind of like a preamble thing. So the truth is all those things, right? The truth is love. The truth is honesty. The truth is wisdom. The truth is respect. The truth is courage, and the truth is humility, right? But let's use humility here, humility and truth, especially for like we're newer to the circle. We love you, welcome here. So humility. Let's not get that confused with humiliation, right? Right, humiliation. Right. Right. Humiliation looks like I drank yesterday and I'm feeling that way today. Just say, so we move from that place to saying, okay, I want to heal today, and that removes that humiliation, right? I want to get better today, right? Hang on, because we're going to run over just because, that's just the way it is. Plus it's Saturday, and I like hanging out with you guys, so, all right. I was praying about this with, before the circle, right? I sit with it, and this is what I do. It's like my fun, right? I just have fun, right? So, the truth is, right? The truth is fun, right? The truth is fun. Aligning, truth is aligning. Truth is aligning is fun. It's powerful, right? And the fact is, the truth always has our best interest in mind. And how many times? So there was a comment the other day. Well, how can we discern? Or this weekend, I forget when it was. How can we discern what is truth, what is right? Right. There was a conversation. I forget. Maybe it was this weekend. Maybe it was. What is the truth? Right. Well, here's a good question, and you can write this down. Does the truth always want your best interest in mind? Right. A place of discernment. Right. Right. Any people, beginning with the spiritual, going to emotional, mental, and then going to the physical. If it just goes to the physical and doesn't go to emotional, mental, and spiritual, then it's not the truth, right? The truth is a sound. The truth is vibration. The truth is a feeling. We are all empathetic. We all have those feelings. We're a feeling machine. That's the truth, right? We are a part of a larger consciousness, right? That's the truth, right? So We're not like on an island somewhere, right? We feel like an island when you know, when we're walking in that colonial world, because it's all about separation and like all this, and like that's what that is it's socially engineering, right? Spiritual engineering, mental engineering. They call it micro marketing now. It's just like, they work with the synapses in our heads right now. That's why we feel so icky and weird, because it doesn't line up, right? It doesn't feel good, right? We already know that, right? So the trick is not to run away from each other, but to find these beautiful, beautiful circles. And really, because we have your best interest in mind. That means I just want to love you and see you live your best life, connected to all those beautiful, beautiful things that give us a good, beautiful life. That's what grandfather told me, and I couldn't get my head around it for like a longer time. I'm like, water really wants the best life for me? Well, and then the grandmother sat me down and said, your body's mostly water. I'm like, okay, where's the fire in me? The heartbeat. And that's a gift from Creator. The first prayer that ever was in me. I'm like, yeah. Trying to find a way out, I found my way in. That's how that works, right? So let's get back to this. Okay, we cannot find the truth. Okay, here we go. Here's like the tipping point, right? Here's very beautiful and powerful. And again, great place of great gentleness. Until, what does that mean spiritually? To the point. Up to the point. Okay. Right. Larger teaching here. We cannot find the truth until it is the only thing we seek. Right. What do we say in the opening prayer? Right. Our intentions. Right. Intentions open up. That's what it's saying here. You have to be absolutely intentional. And I'm not an absolute guy. I'll be the first to tell you, like, absolute, scary. But here, absolutely works, right? Absolutely works. So our intentions to be part of the circle, right? When people come here and they want their own healing, you see it all the time, right? They come from their own healing, and then they can't stay here because we're part of a circle, right? It happens all the time, right? But so it's okay to come here for you, but you will stay here for us. That's how every worker. That's not how this works. That's universal law. That's the law that has surrounded us. That's Mother Earth law. That's water law. That's fire law. That's all those things. That's the law of humility, right? That's a beautiful, beautiful place. Just sit with that, right? So grandfather told me, he said, well, if you don't understand, just sit with this beautiful, beautiful thing. I'm like, and I was hesitant, absolutely hesitant. I really was. I said, I'm not sure of this, because I've never heard this before, right? Because I come from that wounded colonial world. White people hating on me all the time. It's just kind of like, I don't know about this, Tony, But, he was right, And at the end of the day, the more I sat with it, the more I sat with that fire, the more I could hear those beautiful, beautiful things. All right, let's go to the only thing we seek, and then we're going to got a lot more after that. So again, we, right? So there's we. The first word is we, and then after until. I know it sounds a little weird. Just stay with me. After the word until, that's better. It says we seek. So what does? Let's not gloss over that. What does that say? What does that mean? Right? What does that mean? It's, it has our best interests in mind. It tells us what to do. It's a place of gentleness. It tells us that we are not bad people. It tells us, look, this is that beautiful place of humility. So it's reminding. So whenever whenever there appears to be redundancy in the meditation, it's really telling us to pay attention, right? And that is spiritual law. You know how things kind of repeat themselves, right? And we know that in the colonial world, because it's usually kind of like bad things, right? Oh my God, one thing's happening, that one thing. Well, probably there's a lesson there that we're not hearing, seeing, understanding, walking through, or healing from, right? Right? But it works the same way, well, in these beautiful, beautiful circles, right? So redundancy is what? Again, let's say this: for our best interest, right? In our best interest. So Spirit's not doing it to punish us. Spirit's doing this to to love us, right? That's the truth, right? That's that beautiful thing. So we cannot find the truth until it is the only thing. Okay, here it is. Biggest word here, right? The only thing that we seek. Okay, what does that mean? Seek. Circle that word, man. Here it is. Here. Till we seek, right? That means we have to put some skin again. That means you have to show up, right? That means we can't stumble on it. That means we have to sit with it. That means sitting with humility, and let's not get that place with humiliation. There's a lot of, before I learned how to stay here, I was a spiritual tourist. Right? In rooms of recovery, I was a spiritual tourist, right? Until we do the work, we'll always be a tourist. That means we're kind of hanging around, but we're not really doing, right? That means coming into circles, but not really doing the work. That means coming into circles and not really sitting with seeking the grandmothers. For the men seeking the grandfathers, we have to sit with them. That's it. There's no way around it. This is just the beginning right here. And really, I say that in a really good, beautiful, powerful way. This is just the beginning. Right? This is just the beginning of finding out your beauty, right? But we have to put some skin in. We have to figure out how to be all in. This ceremony may end, but the ceremony, in you does not end. What does that mean? I don't say that to look good, sound good, and like be right. And that's not really important to me. But it's more important to me when that's a place of humility. Right? So we have to walk with humility. We have to walk this way, right? We have to physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. We have to walk this way. That's what that means, right? Seek, attempt, desire. And everything begins with the spirit. So we have to desire this, and we can't sit in a room for 20 years and be like, oh, this is it. No. Begins with, the 30-day challenge. I love you guys. You guys are checking in with me all the time. I love it, right? Because there's this newfound freedom, this newfound happiness, right? We're supposed to be aligned. We're supposed to be happy. That's what we're supposed to be. We're not supposed, and we live in a world where we kind of stumble on, like, oh my God, what's this? Oh my God, I'm happy. Wow, what's that? No, we're supposed to be in alignment, humility, happiness, all the same thing. They're all intertwined and overlapping. That's what that means, right? So we don't stumble on happiness. Like, oh yeah, I'm happy. No, it's like, no, we're supposed to be that way all the time, right? Because that's a signal, and that's a signal of alignment. That means keep doing. That means don't finish. A lot of people think happiness is the finish line. Happiness really means keep going. Right? Keep doing what you're doing. Keep encouraging each other. Keep sitting in circles. Keep that place of humility. That means keep going, and that you can write down. Keep going. Right? All right. That's what that means. Right. So the seek also means keep going. Right? Right. Like there's no timeout. There's no stop. There's no this. And like. That desire. Wake up every day. We have that beautiful, beautiful place. Right? That beautiful place of humility is waiting for this beautiful place of truth. It's waiting for it's there to guide us. It looks like a lot of different things, but it's there to guide us, right? It has our best interests in mind. So there's guides, those places, those people, the air, the water, the fire, the squirrel, the earth, the mole. They desire this beautiful place for us to find the truth. So we can live it is in their best interest that we live in harmony and balance, right? It is in Mother Earth, that's a different way of looking at it. It is in Mother Earth's best interest. If we live in harmony and balance, we don't. So if we don't live in harmony and balance, and I think it's pretty obvious, um, you know, we turn people into resources instead of making good relations. You know, that's also the truth, right? Right. And then there's, you know, a sense of entitlement. Like if we don't have if we're not making good relationships, then there's a place of entitlement. Right? Oh, I'm entitled to this. I'm entitled to treat you, abuse you, right? Right, and that's part of that kind of, oh, well, okay, well, you abuse me back, well, I'm just gonna abuse you more then, right? Okay, so it's like, you know, we see where we're going with this. You see where we're going? But as Pops were saying, and I love Pops, right? So someone commented this, I mean, that like gentle course correction, right? Gentle, right? Course, like if it's not gentle, there's probably something else, right? It's probably not a course correction, right? It probably looks like handcuffs, you know, probably something like that, probably, like, yeah. Yes, Your Honor, I'm sorry, Your Honor, something like that, right? You know, so we come here to understand, and the truth, you know, very gentle, right? Right. The closer we get to it, the more gentle it is, right? Sometimes, and I'm with you. It looks like the Velvet Hammer. Sometimes it really does, right? Pops has put me into tears, right? Because, you know, you know, but in a very beautiful, gentle way, and like the loving way. It's like, you know, he told me there was something so that he could see the good inside me, and I'm like, no, this is like 30, 25 years ago. You know, no, there's nothing inside me but emptiness, man. You know, and now here we are, right? And that great place of love and you know, gratitude, right? That love and gratitude, right? Again, going back to these basic, simple principles, you know, gratitude, here, write this down, gratitude is the truth, offering is the truth, right? You know, like we don't begin to do these things to seeking is an action, right? Gratitude's an action, right? The truth is an action, right? Write all this down. Truth is an action. It's not just, oh yeah, just pray for the truth. Like it's not that place on Sunday. We actually have to go out and we have to do it. Again, we have to put some skin in the game. Like, you know, I talk about this all the time. One of the greatest lines in any spiritual book I have ever read, you know, a price has to be paid. When the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, right? They hit that right on the head. Bill Wilson then, you know, couldn't say that any clearer, any better. A price has to be paid. So in other words, we have to get out of our own way, right? And that's difficult, right? Right? We put everything in the way, like, you know, this, yeah, you know, this is not a situational thing. We don't, you know, the other thing is, you know, like the situation is, right? Oh, we have to wait till the situation's absolutely perfect, till the stars align. And I used to think that way. Well, I can't change until the stars align, until that beautiful, powerful moment where he is there, she shows up, we sit in a circle, the fire is made, and all these beautiful things. No. We show up here, write this down. The truth is we show up no matter what. That's the truth. Right? We show up, we pray no matter what. Right? And it used to be like, well, until he changes or she changes, I won't pray for them. That's not the truth. That's something else. That's a false narrative that since it comes from somewhere else, right? You know, we pray for our enemies no matter what. That's the truth. Like if we, like, and this is what we're seeking, right? And what we're seeking is already within us. That means we have to do it, right? And like been sitting with the elder. Dakota elder, you know, and he says, and he's right, you know, he said the seven sacred teachings, like they're not teachings, right? They are us, right? But in the beginning, we need to connect to them, so it feels like they are someplace else. So yes, we need to sit with them, you know, and as we grow and as we learn, we become that. We incorporate that in our life, in our walk, in our journey, in our prayer, right? We become that place of humility and that place of love. Right? We become the grandfathers and we become the grandmothers, right? you know, so, you know, and, that's the truth. We become these things. Stay here until we become that beautiful place of truth. Right, right, right. Stay here, when we get personally, spiritually attacked, we say no thank you. That's that beautiful place, right? Right. Don't be ashamed because you're leveling up and the people around you don't, right? Don't minimize your growth, right? Because you want he to be around or she to be around, right? No, we do this no matter what. We hear ourselves no matter what. We share our love, we share our teachings no matter what. I'm not looking for students, I'm looking for replacements, right? Yeah, So, you take on that role. That's the truth, right? That's what every elder says, right? I'm not looking for students, I'm looking for replacements because one day I may not be here, right? But we are going to need you to carry on what we have started here. That's the truth, right? The truth, right? Right. Let's not minimize, we're really good at minimizing our truth, right? But when we walk with it, and then we understand how powerful it is, and then we come to a point we can't stop giving it away, right? That's how Grandfather Tony is. He's so gentle, right? Right? That gentleness is the truth. Like, you're not so gentle, then, we have some work to do. We have some work to do, right? Right. Okay. So let's read this again. So, and, like here's the beautiful thing, right? Do you feel like the truth is holding you? I love you. Do you feel like the truth is holding you? Because we come from a place where we feel like a hostage, right? This is not that, right? We feel like our destiny is, already there, right? When we live in that colonial world, that we're destined to be destitute, right? Spiritual, emotional, mental, spiritual. No, but when we come over here, it's a different conversation, right? You can tell those people who have done the work, those elders, those grandmothers, those grandfathers, the warriors who have sat there, they have gotten sober, they've done this thing, it's a different conversation, and that's what I'm referring to. That's, that conversation, what they're having is the truth, right? Right, and it makes a lot of people, like when we're new here, achy and uncomfortable, right? So, ooh, what is that? Ooh, oh God, I don't know about that, man. I know it sounds good, but no. So we get to that place where I know absolutely, and here it is. Write this down, right? And this is something that we rarely talk about. But, the grandfathers have been talking to me about this all the time now. It's like that place of absolute protection. When we walk with the truth, we are protected. That's it. And if we're not walking with the truth, we feel vulnerable, right? When we first start walking the truth, we feel vulnerable, right? Right? Oh, God. Oh, no. That's how I felt, right? But the longer I sit with the truth, the more protected I am. And that's from spiritual attacks, emotional, mental attacks. That means that people running in the mat, like, whatever, just like, no, thank you, right? Uh, and what is that? Love, right? So love, again, can't have truth without love. So, like, even if we're sitting with the truth, and this is really interesting that they speak of 1 of 7, but here we're just going to run over. I think we ran over on you. I'm sorry. But let's just go back to the reading here. So the truth is 1 of the 7, right? So let's add. We cannot find humility until it is the only thing that we see. Does that work? Absolutely does. Right, because all these teachings are intertwined and overlapping. Does gentleness work? We cannot find gentleness until because it's related, because they are all related, intertwined and overlapping, right? Right? So it's hard to work on one without, because here's the beautiful thing. Gentleness has a big family, and it brings its family everywhere we go when we work with gentleness. How about that? So when we sit with the truth, when we sit with love, when we sit with humility, when we sit with gentleness, it brings an army of helpers. to help guide us in a really good and beautiful way. Write that down. Right? How powerful is that? So we don't need to feel lonely or scared or afraid anymore, right? You know, you know, it is, the world out there, it is what it is, right? But, I got helpers and guides protecting me, especially in spiritual places now, right? Right. Guarding me, got my back. And that's part of, again, let's bring it full circle, that's part of the we cannot find until the only thing we seek, right? We, us, and our includes humility, truth, love, honesty. Everything begins with the spirit, and then it goes and represented in the water, the fire, the earth, the air, right? And it goes to the ancestors, right? And then to bring a full circle, who's also sitting with us? The next 7 generations. They're always sitting with us. There's no way. So act accordingly, act as if. So hey, that's part of humility when we really understand that, right? And that's the most dangerous thing that the colonial world doesn't want us to know, is that they're already sitting with us, right? They don't get it. They can't wrap their head around it, right? And that's okay, because we know, because that makes the circle, and it makes it stronger. And that is the tie that binds us together. That is the ultimate strength, right? And that's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. So I'm going on and on. So anyway, I love you guys. What is your takeaway? Thank you for that. Young lady, just remind me of takeaway. Just take away. So what is your takeaway from here? What are you going to carry with you today? So carry with you. So what do you carry with you is your offering to the people that you meet. That's what the takeaway is, and that you can write down. Right. So maybe it's gentleness, compassion, right? Right. Remember, the truth is gentle, right? Right. Sharing your truth helps people remind them of theirs, right? And and you might be in different places, right? And that's okay, right? Gentleness is always there, right? You don't do it in a mean-spirited way, right? Right. So, okay, so all right, so love you guys. I am on the road on Monday, so I am flying out Monday. We're leaving here Monday morning. So tomorrow. So we hope to be here tomorrow morning. Might be a couple last minute things I might have to do. So yeah. So. Remember, there's a library of information over on YouTube, so I will keep posting as often as I can. Remember, if I'm sitting in a circle with you, I really want to be present with you in that circle, and that means the kind of the phone's away and it's kind of aside. If we can do a live, we'll do a live. Again, I make no guarantees. Okay, so we have an upcoming workshop. Denise, elder grandmother and elder Denise Miller and myself, we are sitting together, journey through the season. That is coming up. We will post something. If you're interested in that, let Denise Miller or myself know. Put something in the feed. It's a really powerful workshop. So that is coming up. Also, yeah, and to all my European friends, not too late to sit with you to make plans. I'm going to be in Germany, Hungary, and Austria. So that's it. It's like a little quick tour there. Let us take that takeaway. Let's sit with that takeaway. Let's put that right here. Let us ground us. This is not entertainment. This is medicine to help us ground us in that beautiful, beautiful place. Just kind of close your eyes. it is. This ceremony may end, but the ceremony in you does not end. So let's take what we live here and learn here, loved here, and listen to here, and take it out to the four winds. Does it no good to be all spiritual here if we don't take it out there? That means be the peacekeepers. That means go far beyond hitting that share button. That's like the thing, right? Where we really need to share it is out there to the four winds. That means to the people. Let's be the peacemakers. Let's walk in that place of beauty and that walk in that place of gentleness. My name is Kanipa Whitmack Watt, Standing Bear. And if no one said that they love you today, I love you very much. Let's have a great day. Bye-bye. Hi, baby. Baby. Baby.